G'day, Couch Critics. The World Cup is over, and Australia did surprisingly pretty well. We always back the Socceroos, but someone we don't back all that much was the manager, Graham Arnold.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love Graham Arnold. Always backed him. Always rated him.
I'm pretty sure we did some videos before the World Cup about whether or not he should even be the manager at the World Cup of the Socceroos. Isn't time just interesting? Hindsight.
Hindsight, yes.
Hindsight. It was a fantastic World Cup. I don't think anyone's going to say that Socceroos were bad. I think obviously we had a game plan and we stuck to it, and it paid off big time with wins against Tunisia and Denmark and pushing Argentina right until the last kick of the game. They go on to win the World Cup. Could have been so different if Garang Kuol doesn't miss that shot, doesn't hit it straight into Emi Martinez. I think all the credit has to go to Martinez for a great save. But it leads us to this question of today's video. Obviously, you've seen it in the title. Is Graham Arnold the best Socceroos manager ever? Like, does he outstrip Gus with what he does? That's a question for today's pod. Bradley, what did you make of Graham Arnold? Oh, obviously, sorry, this all comes out because Le Quip magazine in France have who knows what metrics they've used to come up with this answer, but they've put Graham Arnold right at the top, saying he was the best manager at the World Cup. Like that's a pretty outrageous thing.
And I think the Japanese manager was second.
Yeah, Moriyasu. He was under a lot of heat in the World Cup qualifiers as well. Two guys who've done fantastically well. So Bradley, what do you make of Graham Arnold? Obviously, a lot of talk was about the Socceroos. What about Graham Arnold himself?
Oh, yeah. What about Graham Arnold? I think I was very highly critical of Graham Arnold after the France game. I think we recorded a video after that game. I don't know what to think of him. I still I don't know if it's listen, I think we played very poorly throughout the qualifying rounds. I think when I look back in hindsight against France, I think, you know what, we didn't actually do that as bad as I think we originally thought we did. I think who was the centre back with Suter, the former Mariner?
Kai Rolls.
I think he made some great tackles against Mbappe, but he stuffed up twice and it cost us twice. You know, those don't happen. It's a much closer game. I think we did pretty well against France. It's a menace to defend against someone like Mbappe. He's going to be the next Messi. When I say the next Messi, like in 5 years' time, he's going to be the best player in the world. I think there's no doubt about that. Right up there with Haaland.
I think in a year he'll be the best player in the world.
You could make the argument that he is right now, but I think he did pretty well. I think he did pretty well at the World Cup considering how far we went. He made some good decisions to stick with Kai Rolls at the back, especially the game against Tunisia. We defended really well. He set us up really well at the back. Denmark as well. Argentina, there were times when we looked like we were going to get blown away, and in the end, we only got within a goal, and seconds of Garang Kuol equalising. I still don't know if I want Graham. I think he's got the job. If he wants to continue for another 4 years, I think you got to give it to him. I think he's earned it. I think he's probably proved a lot of his doubters wrong, myself included. Is he the best Australian manager ever? I don't know. I mean, statistically speaking, yes, he is. He's won 2 games at a World Cup, which is one more than any other manager has ever achieved. In Gus Hiddink and Holger Osik. Was it Holger Osik or Pim Verbeek? Pim Verbeek took us to South Africa. He got us 1 game. So he's won 2 games, which is the same amount that those 2 managers achieved together. So, yeah, mate, what did you think of Graham Arnold?
Yeah, I think it is interesting. I think he was the perfect World Cup manager.
Hmm.
I don't know if he's the perfect Asian Cup manager though. And I think what you saw from the World Cup and the way that Graham Arnold set up was about being the underdog. It's about defending for your life. It's about making the most of little opportunities and playing with heart and passion. And those are all good things, but they particularly suit a team that's not favored to win. I think I think tactically he got games pretty spot on. Like you said, against France, a couple of little errors and they got away from us very quickly. But we started the game on the front foot, which no one was really expecting. But then the games against Tunisia, the game against Denmark, we were just smart. We squeezed them when we needed to. We defended really well. In both games, teams had their opportunities against us and we rode a bit of luck. You saw we made some good decisions. When Mitchy Duke found the note of the Danish team's decisions, Graham Arnold was straight on it, made some great changes. It was quite interesting right throughout the group stage games. There was not a lot of time in between games, and yet we didn't make many changes at all to our starting lineup. That wasn't, I think a lot of people were maybe feeling a bit nervous about, but I think he had his team and he drilled into them what he wanted, and he knew that we were going to use those fresh legs to make changes in games. I would have liked to maybe, I don't know, like obviously he got it right because we got through that group stage. It was interesting not to see Dejanek at centre back or some of the different players in our squad start some more games. Interesting not to see Jamie McLaren start a game and start with Mitch Duke for each one. But yeah, to his credit, I think he played those games right. But then it flips when we go to an Asian Cup. We go from being one of the complete underdogs, ranked in the bottom 5, to being one of the big dogs. We're the team that's expected to make at least the semi-final. We've got Japan, South Korea, us, Saudi Arabia, and now Qatar, have been getting better. The UAE have been getting better. There's other nations in and around who can throw in some surprises. Absolutely, we can struggle against some of those Middle Eastern teams on their day, but where we go in with all of the pressure, all of the expectation, and I don't know if that's Graham Arnold's strength. I think he knows how to rally an underdog. I don't know if on the national stage if he knows how to lead us when we're expected to win.
Yeah.
I think we saw it with Sydney FC. Like he can coach a winning team. He can be dominant. I just don't think we saw it much with the way he set up in the World Cup qualifying campaign.
I think club football and international football is so different because in club football you can, in theory, buy whoever you want. In international football, you're limited to what you have, and I think tactically he did well, but I think where his real strength is he manages the players personally really well. I think he's got a real, like that team. You look at a team like Belgium at the World Cup, fantastic team on paper, but there was just so much disharmony within that team, so much out of formness. But Graham Arnold's able to achieve some great things. I think we make fun of it, but there's nothing like giving it 110%. Having that team unity, that goes a long way to getting results. You could have all the best players in the world, like Belgium, but if you don't have team unity, you're nothing. And I think he did that really well. I think that's his real strength, is he can really manage players. He's a man manager. He can really handle them at a personal level. And I think that was really good with him. You said about the Asian Cup, he's coached us twice at the Asian Cup in 2007 and 2019. And we went out both quite in poor fashion. We went out against Iraq in 2007 in the quarterfinals, who obviously went on to win it, but was still a massive underdog story to win it. And then we went out quite poorly against the UAE in the quarterfinals. So, the UAE are a decent team, but just the way we played throughout that whole Asian Cup tournament was pretty poor. We lose to Syria or something, or Jordan. I don't know. We lost to someone in the group stage. But yeah, I think that'll be different. He still needs to install that same kind of belief when we're going to the Asian Cup. Like you said, we won't be underdogs, but I probably agree that he's not the man to lead us to the. He will be there. I think he will be there if he wants to do it. He'll be there for the Asian Cup. Don't know if he'll have what it takes to get a result.
And I think that's one of the interesting things, isn't it? Like, can he use actually the confidence and that togetherness that he's built at that World Cup? Because obviously the Asian Cup is next year. It comes right off the back of the World Cup for us. Like, can he use that momentum and actually take that togetherness? Because actually, the way we played against France, the way we played against Denmark and Argentina, if we took that game plan to Japan, I see us winning. Japan are also a great side and have also come off a fantastic World Cup campaign. No one really thought they would get out of a group with Spain and Germany in it. So they're feeling pretty good about themselves too. But that game plan we actually saw at the World Cup is so different to the game plan we saw against Japan in the in the qualifiers. And so, like, does he use that momentum to actually help at the Asian Cup? I think potentially. Does sound like Tom Rogic actually continue to miss out, although he's putting in some performances for West Brom, because actually Arnie's got his squad where he wants them, and that'll be the interesting one. I think if he wants to stay on, then the Football Australia, they've got to give him another contract. I think he's absolutely earned it if he wants it.
Yeah.
I guess that's the other question, is does he want it? Does he want to continue, or does he want to go out on the high and leverage this to actually get himself a decent job? We've just seen Paddy Kisnorbo become the first ever Australian manager at a top 5 league club. Could Graham Arnold follow suit and actually get himself a decent European gig off the back of the World Cup? Now that he's so hotly rated, according to this French magazine, it's interesting to watch. So do let us know what you think. Obviously, did Graham Arnold actually prove you wrong in the World Cup, or were you always on his side? And let us know, do you think, or do you want him to stay on as a Socceroos manager, or would you like to see us bring someone else in?
Quickly back on your original question you first asked me, though. Is he the greatest Australian manager? Well, the greatest manager Australia's ever had?
Yeah.
I'd probably say Gus Hiddink is still probably the best coach we've ever had, just because of what he achieved for us to qualify for a World Cup for the first time, and also take us to a round of 16. I think you can make the argument for Arnold. Statistically speaking, what he achieved was, it is the best achievement by an Australian team at the World Cup. But I think for me, there's still a lot of great feeling towards Aussie Gus. So for me, I'd probably say Gus Hiddink, but I think Graham Arnold definitely deserves to be in that conversation.
Look, for me, I think Arnie pips him. I think.
I can understand that. Yeah, sure.
I think you look at the squad that Gus had.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic. It was the golden generation. You look at the squad, and no disrespect to the Socceroos who've just played in the World Cup, because obviously they've done better. But their individual caliber is not that high. I think that takes a manager to form a squad together to be a winning team. So for me, I think Graham actually has outdone the rest, because he was able to make a team of absolute battlers get through and bring a whole nation just briefly together in terms of football. I think he's really shown some great qualities, and so props to him.
No, fair enough. All right, I think you were wrapping up before, so do you want to say farewell to us all, Samuel?
Yeah, thanks so much for watching. please do, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're slowly tracking our way towards 1,000, and so we'd love your help to get there. And leave a like on the video, and feel free to share it on any football pages that you're a part of, and make sure you leave a comment down below. Let us know, is Graham Arnold your best ever Socceroos manager? And we'll catch you next time.